Hello everyone, Silent here, and welcome back to another episode of Bug Rock of the Week. The most recent Bedrock Edition beta, 1.18.30.21, has arrived. This is a small beta for combat-related changes and parity, armor and enchantment updates, some mob updates, and also a little bit of teasers for the Sculk blocks and the Warden as well. The Warden will be coming to Bedrock Edition soon TM. We don't have a time frame, but it seems like we are mostly good to go for it at this point with all the Sculk mechanics. If you want to play with these Sculk blocks, it is currently in the most recent previews, 1.18.30.21. You just need to make sure that you have the Wild Update Experimental toggle turned on, and then you'll have access to all of these blocks. As far as I can tell, it seems like they are fully functional, and they're pretty identical to Java Edition. The mechanics of these blocks is all here, so if you kill a mob, then it starts spreading more Sculk. You can also power the Shrieker with redstone. That gives off the noises, and also occasionally gives you the darkness effect. The darkness effect is not nearly as powerful on a Bedrock Edition as it is on Java. As you can see, it just seems like a giant cloud is going by overhead. It really is not as strong as it is on Java. On Java, you can't see anything more than a couple blocks in front of your face. The darkness effect is a little bit more effective in caves, but it's still not really that powerful. It could be a lot better. The main draw of this beta is, of course, all the combat and parity fixes. However, we have a couple other bug fixes before that. So, for example, placing a gravity block above a snow layer now allows that gravity block to fall down and replace the snow layer. As you can see with all of these things, previously they would sit on top of the snow layer and just kind of float mid-air. And because of this, I just found two other issues. So whenever a falling scaffolding turns into like a standing scaffolding, as you can see, it has a weird animation at the bottom. Very strange. Not sure if that's supposed to be like that, but it looks kind of interesting. And also, you can't place a scaffolding right here. Like, you just cannot place a scaffolding right there. If you remove the snow, then you can place it there. You can place it a block up, but you can't place it directly above the snow. Strange. A bug fix that I've been waiting for a very long time is the fact that creative players in flight mode will no longer be pushed by liquids. As you can see, I can stand in this flowing water and I'm not going to go anywhere. I so miss this feature. I haven't been able to play with this since Legacy console days. If you want to get pushed around by the water, then just exit fly mode and you'll get pushed around. This is going to make building, like, literally everything in creative so much easier, and it also applies to the lava pushing effect as well. There's been a change to farmer villagers. If these guys have too many seeds in their inventory, they can now access a composter and actually get bone meal out of that, and then they can take that bone meal and bone meal crops with it. This is actually going to be pretty useful for our villager crop farms, because something like a beetroot farm or a wheat farm that produces way too many seeds can clog up these guys' inventories or clog up their storage system. So now you might be able to get a little bit more efficiency out of your farms. There he goes. He took out the bone meal and actually bone meal with it. My previous guy had too many things in his inventory, so he couldn't actually fit the bone meal into his inventory, which I guess is maybe a flaw with the system. So they only have 8 slots of inventory room. If all 8 of those slots are full, then they're not going to be able to get the bone meal out of their composter. Not sure if that's intended or a byproduct of how they're designed or a bug, but that is something to be aware of. Something like this isn't necessary to get higher efficiency out of your villager crop farms. You could also have a bee farm integrated into your crop farm, because of course bees pollinate crops and make them grow faster. So you can use this mechanic or bees, or just completely ignore this entirely. The protection enchantment has had some serious buffs in this beta, so now it will properly work against all damage types, including instant damage, poison, wither effect, fatal poison, dragon's breath, and suffocation via solid blocks, if I'm reading the bug report properly. So that is actually pretty amazing, and that should have a pretty big effect on combat on Bedrock Edition. Previously on Bedrock Edition, if you had a crossbow like this one with multi-shot, then you could load up some instant harming 2 arrows, and this would insta-kill any player regardless of totems, shields, effects, or anything like that. It's literally just an insta-kill. So we can test out if this has actually been fixed in this beta or not. I have 7 dispensers with insta harming 2 arrows and full health with diamond armor all set up and protection 4. If I press this, I'm only taking two-ish hearts of damage. Honestly, not bad. This setup would literally insta-kill any player previously. So, the era of insta-kill crossbows has come to an end. Probably. This change means that everything in the game is going to be significantly easier to fight now. Potions are going to deal less damage, witches won't be as deadly, and the Wither just got actually fightable. This is 30 seconds of the Wither 2 effect, which is what you typically get from fighting the Wither on hard mode. As you can see, it is barely damaging me at all. I just have a regular set of protection 4 armor on. In the older versions of Bedrock Edition, this was a death sentence. You would have to pop a totem or drink milk to get rid of that Wither 2, but it didn't do any damage at all. This might actually be a little bit overkill. They might need to buff the Wither. This is great. So everything in Bedrock Edition just got a little bit easier because now your protection enchantments actually do their job. This kind of means the entire time we've been fighting Withers on Bedrock Edition, we've been doing it with unenchanted armor. As you can see, if I take off the armor, then it does the extreme amount of damage that we are used to the Wither 2 effect doing. This is what it was like previously, but when wearing a full set of protection 4 armor. Stalagmites now deal the proper kind of damage. Before, it was physical damage, like from an attack, but now it is a falling damage. So if you have Feather Falling 4 on, that is going to help you take reduced fall damage when you fall on these things. But that also means that if you don't have Feather Falling, they're going to do a lot more damage to you. So be careful about these things. They're actually somewhat deadly now. If you don't have Feather Falling 4, even with a full set of Protection 4 Diamond Armor, you'll take about 6.5 hearts of damage from a 20 block fall. All that being said, the Protection 4 enchantment has actually been nerfed as well. So now it does the proper amount of damage reduction. Before, it was actually more powerful than it should have been. And this means that things like projectile protection, blast protection, and fire protection will actually be more handy now and more useful. So they're not entirely pointless to have on your armor. Previously, just having a Protection 4 on all your armor pieces was basically the best that you could get, but now that is not so much the case. There's not really any details as to the change, and the bug report for this one is very messy, so if you know the specifics of this bug fix, then let us know in the comment section. There's been a bug fix to the absorption hearts that you get from a golden apple. They will no longer stay yellow when you have the wither effect, so as you can see, our 2 additional hearts are now the wither color. There's been 5 major changes to Diamond and Netherite armor in this update. First of all, armor now has a toughness. Diamond armor has a toughness level of 2, and Netherite has a toughness level of 3. Basically, armor toughness makes it so that very damaging attacks don't deal as much damage to you. So, like, iron armor isn't going to do much against an Ender Dragon attack, but Netherite's going to significantly nullify that damage. So, they've also tweaked armor reduction calculations to account for toughness, whatever that means. Netherite armor now also reduces more damage than diamond armor. Previously, they reduced the same amount of damage, apparently. So, even if you were wearing Netherite, you took the same amount of damage as if you were wearing diamond. Netherite's also been nerfed a little bit. It now reduces slightly less knockback than it did before. Have you ever thought that the Wandering Trader deserved to die in even more brutal ways just because, well, look at him. Well, now you can. The Ravagers will actually attack Wandering Traders now, so if you feel like it, you can collect these guys from all over the world, put them into a pen with some Ravagers, and wait for their night vision to run out, because, like, they drink a lot of night vision. But yeah, as you can see, they actually do get attacked by Ravagers now, which is fantastic. We also have some very interesting changes to Shulkers, which is maybe a precursor to Shulker cloning coming to Bedrock Edition. We still have no idea when that's coming, but I'm definitely keeping my eyes peeled for it. Regardless, we have a small change where Shulkers do not like to stay on the same block as one another. So we can summon one right there, and then we can summon another one. And as you can see, they teleport away. So you're not going to find stacked up Shulkers in an end city anymore. Shulkers also prioritize attaching to blocks next to them rather than teleporting away. So if we break that block, as you can see, he sticks to that one, and then he sticks to that one, and then finally he teleports away. There's also another change where they prefer to stick to a block rather than going upside down. So as you can see, we can kind of keep this guy in this block right here, but change his orientation. So if we put a block right next to him and then a block above him, then he switches to the side instead of opening into that block and then taking damage and teleporting away. This is actually super convenient, and I'm very glad that they fixed like all of these bugs, because making a Shulker farm with these bugs in the game would be incredibly infuriating. So I feel like this is maybe paving the way for Shulker cloning. Here's hoping. We really need Shulker farms on Bedrock Edition. We are long overdue. There's also been yet another villager bug fix, so the cartographer villager will once again sell the Woodland Mansion map. Previously, they did not sell these, so if you're looking for an easy way to get to a Woodland Mansion, here you go. If you learned a thing or two from today's beta video, then of course drop a like, as it helps out the video on the channel a ton. If you're new here, then maybe consider subscribing to help us reach 500,000, and otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys down in the comment section and in the next one. And then there was Soylence.